Hi guys, welcome to Food Feeds. So after the successful completion of CFSO on TO, we came up with this free series called TNMRB Junior Analyst MCQ. So basically we are going to discuss some MCQs in all the 7 chapters. So let's get into the topic. So first of all, let's discuss this syllabus in detail. So basically in today's class we are going to see about the chapter 1. So in the chapter 1, so basically in the chapter 1 it is very simple topic which you have already studied in many other examinations, but we want to discuss this topic first of all before getting to the MCQs. So we can expect nearly 15 to 20 questions from this topic. We can expect from 15 to 20 questions from this topic. And basically this chapter is food loss. Okay. So what is so important about this topic? First of all, in this topic we are going to study two things. One is Indian food laws and standards and international food laws and standards. Okay, so Indian and international food laws and standards. And under Indian food laws and standards we have two important things. One is FSSI and second is other than FSSI. Okay, other than FSSI. So under FSSI we already know two things. One is they have FSSS Act, which is came in 2006, and one more is the FSSS Rules and Regulation. Rules and Regulation. Yeah. And what are the other acts which we have to focus? In this, they have specifically mentioned 4 acts, so we are going to discuss only those 4 acts. First is AGMARK, and the second one is Export Act, and the third one is BIS, and finally Legal Metrology Act. Okay. So these are the 4 other important acts which we need to discuss. So what about the international? In international, the very first important law which you have to study is Codex. Not just Codex and its commissions. So you have to study about Codex and its commissions. And apart from Codex, you have to study about WTO agreements. So those 2 agreements, which is SPS and TBT, you have to study that in deep. And finally, you have OIE and IPPC. So these are the topics in the chapter 1. It is pretty simple. And what about the materials? What about the materials? It's basically very simple. All you have to do is you have to visit the website. Visit the website of each institute and study the PDFs of the given acts and regulation. So studying the PDFs of acts and regulation and visiting the website, it's more than enough to study this topic. So yeah, so I hope you have studied this topic. So this is a revision section, which means I assume that you have already studied this. If you have already studied this topic, then this revision will be much more beneficial. Okay, so let's start the revision and discuss the topic. So we are going to discuss something in deeper. So if it helps you, then sure, please subscribe and like this video. So let's start the session. So this is the very first question. Let's start with a simple question. FSSS, Food Safety and Standard Act, contains dash chapters and how many sections? So we have 4 options and we need to choose any one of those options. So basically, we need to know about the FSSS Act. This is the very first part of the chapter 1 section. It's going to be 3 parts. So the first part we are going to discuss now. So what is this question? So before answering this question, let's discuss this FSSS Act. So FSSS Act 2006. Okay. So it has 12 chapters and it has 101 sections. So this is a simple question. Yeah, we already know this, right? But here is an important point. See, this FSSS Act has how many amendments? we know this act, but how many amendment has been done until now? There is only one amendment, and the first amendment came into force on the date of 2008 7th Feb. Okay, so it came into force in 2008 7th Feb. So there has until now there hasn't been any amendment since the first amendment. Okay, so what are the some other informations? See, this FSSS Act, when it came in 2006, it has came under the Ministry of Health. It came under the Ministry of MOFI. Okay, food processing industries. So basically, the Ministry of MOFI is established in which year? That is also a question in, which is asked in CFSO and TO. Actually, so it established in 1988. Okay, so when it came in 2006, it was under the Ministry of MOFI, but it has been replaced in 2007. It has been replaced with the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Okay, so this ministry has been established in which year? Which is actually easy to remember. It is 1947. Okay, so these are the two important informations when it comes to this act. So basically, this act has been established under the Ministry of MOFI, Ministry of Food Processing Industries, but it has been replaced with one more ministry, that is Health and Family Welfare, in the year of 2007. So they might ask what is the establishment year. So 1988 for MOFI and 1947 for Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Okay, so let's get into this 12 chapters and 101 section. See, we know each and every section and chapter, it doesn't came into force on the same date. So all the sections came into force in different date. Okay, so we don't need to study all those dates, but only one important point is which is the recent enforcement in this 101 section, which is recently enforced, which is recent enforcement, which is in section 22 clause 2. We have one specific topic, which is GM foods, which is genetically modified foods. Genetically modified foods. So this has been recently amended in the date of November 2, 2021. Okay, although section has been amended so before, but only they take this much time for the genetically modified food. So the GM food is the recently amended section. Okay, so if they asked about the recently amended section, it is section 22 clause 2, which is GM foods. Okay, so now we have explained a little bit about this specific question. Now let's answer this question. Yeah, it is 12 chapters and 101 section, which is answer 3. Okay, so next question. So Food Safety and Standard Act came into force on. So the question is really important. When it came into force. Okay, so this is the question. So before, let me ask the question. Let's see a timeline. Okay, see guys, before this act came, there are so many different things which we need to discuss. First is, this is an important timeline to discuss. So first of all, the group of food and agriculture industries recommended one comprehensive law. This has happened in which year? This happened in 1988. Okay, then in the 2002 budget speech, central government has declared this intention of making one comprehensive food law. Okay, which has happened in 2002. Then in the year of 2004, Joint Parliamentary Committee on Pesticide Residue report sales on one food law. So basically, these are some informations that before this FSSS Act, these are some of the pressure which government gave to make this law. Okay, then this is very important part, because in the year of 2005, April, I guess, April 12th report of Standing Committee of Parliament states the need of legislation of one integrated food law. So basically, Standing Committee recommended on 12th report in 2005 about the need of legislation of food law. So before that we have PFA, but it is like scattered, like different food has different orders and laws. So need of legislation of one food law is the main intention for all this recommendation. Okay, so for that reason, government in the year of 2005, August 25th, they recommended this FSSS Act bill. So the bill is introduced in which date? It is 25th of August 2005. And this bill has been passed in Lok Sabha in 26th of, it's really important, it's 26th of July in the year of 2006. Then in the 2nd August 2006, it has been passed in the Rajya Sabha. Okay, 2nd August 2006. And it came in front of President in the date of 23rd of August 2006. Okay, 2006. So it's published in 24th of August 2006. And it established in which date? This bill is established in 5th of September 2008. Okay, and this is finally came into force in 5th of August 2011. Okay, basically when it came into force, they have established the FSSI. Okay, so sorry, the FSSI has been came into force, but it is actually FSSI. If they ask about establishment of FSSI, then it is simply 5th of September 2008. But if they ask when they came into force, when FSSI came into force, then it is 5th of August 2011. Okay, 5th of August 2011. And who done this who done this establishment in 2011? It is Anbumani Ramadas. It is Anbumani Ramadas. Okay, so that's it. So these are some of the important data. Now let's get back to the question. So FSSS Act 2006, which is came into force in the date of 24th August. See, 23rd is the one which it came in front of which came in front of the president. So it is not the date which we have to consider it. So 24th of August 2006 is the right answer. Okay, so next question. So different officers and appointed under different sections. So we need to basically match these things. So before matching this, let's discuss the different people and their sections. See, each officer is appointed under different sections in FSSI, in FSSS Act 2006. So let's discuss this. First of all, food analyst. Food analyst is appointed under section 45. And DO is appointed under section 36. And CFSO, CFS means it is Commissioner of Food Safety. They have been appointed under 30. So it is Commissioner actually. So they have been appointed under the section 30. Then FSO has been appointed under the section 37. Okay, it is really important, 37. And guys, remember this point carefully. We can call the DO as licensing authority. As licensing authority. One more name we can call them as licensing authority. And we can say both FSO and DO as a registering authority. So if they say registering authority, then both of the people can be registering authority, but only DO is called as a licensing authority because DO will give the license, and FSO and DO can both do the registration. Okay. So next is AO, educating officer. That is mentioned in the section 68, and his power has been mentioned in the section 69. Power. Okay. And next is authorized officer. This is not mentioned in the FSSS Act, as we have discussed. All these things has been mentioned in the FSSS Act 2006, but except the authorized officer. This has been specifically mentioned in the import regulation. It is mentioned in the import regulation, and this specific authorized officer has been mentioned in the chapter 9 of import regulation. Okay, and who appointed this person? This is appointed by CEO. Okay, like authorized officer is appointed by CEO. Then let's see who, first of all, which section it will come under. So the CEO function of CEO has been mentioned in the section 10. Okay, and finally presiding officer. First of all, who is presiding officer? Presiding officer is nothing but one and only member in the Food Safety Appellate Tribunal. So each tribunal has one presiding officer. Food Safety Appellate Tribunal. Okay, so each Food Safety Appellate Tribunal has one presiding officer. So they are the one who called as a presiding officer. Okay, now let's discuss who appointed who. First of all, we can call the presiding officer as district judge. Yeah, we can call the presiding officer as district judge. And here, let's come here. The adjudicating officer is also called additional district magistrate. Additional district magistrate. So this is the one more name of adjudicating officer. Okay, so the presiding officer is appointed by both central or state government. I mean, any one of the government can appoint this presiding officer. CEO is being appointed by Government of India. Okay, CEO has been appointed by Government of India. Okay, now AO. AO is appointed by CEO, which we have already discussed. AO is appointed by CEO. Adjudicating officer is appointed by state government. Okay, adjudicating officer is appointed by state government. And one more person, Commissioner of Food Safety. They are also appointed by the state government only. State government. Now here comes the important part. Food Analyst, DO and FSO. All these three persons has been appointed by the commissioner. Okay, so Food Analyst, DO and FSO. All three persons are appointed by the commissioner. Now we have explained pretty much everything, which position will be appointed under which. So we pretty much explained everything. Let's see the question. So let's see the question. Food Analyst. So what is the section for Food Analyst? It is section 45. And designated officer, which is section 36. And Commissioner of Food Safety, which is section 30. And Food Safety Officer, which is section 37. So these are the right answers. Okay, so next question. FSSAI license and registration number has how many digits? So, which is a really important question, because this question is related to many other questions which is asked in the FSSAI examination. So studying this question in detail will be helpful to like many of the FSSAI related examination. Okay, so let's discuss this question. So first of all, there are 14 digits. Okay, so the FSSAI license or registration number, which basically has 14 digits. Okay, so let's discuss this digits. First of all, we have first digit, which is, let's say that as an X. So there are two digits. It can be either 1 or 2. If it is 1, then it is pretty much, it is called as license. If it is true, then it is called as registration. So we can basically identify a specific license just by looking that whether it is licensed or registered. So the first letter will denote the license and registration. So let's see the second letter. Let's say that as an YY, it is called as a state code. So each state has a different code. So according to that, it will vary. What is the code for TN, Tamil Nadu? which is asked in the MRB examination, and the answer is 24. 24 is the right answer. Then next two is the year of enrollment. So this is the year 23. So 23 will be the year of enrollment. Okay. So next is, let's say that as an is it or is it. So these two number will signify. Okay, this will signify the officers under the license given. Okay, under this license given. So for example, if this license is given to specific DO officer or FSO officer, then they have a specific signifying number, so that number will be mentioned. And finally, we have 6 unique digit. Let's say that is A, B, C, D, E and F. So this 6 unique digit number will be differ for each and individual persons. Okay, so yeah, so that's how we have to split the FSSAI license number into different categories, and many of the questions has been answered from the single topic. Okay, so what is the answer? It is 14 digits. So let's get into the next question. So let's assume if a food business operator manufactures a misbranded food. Okay, so they have given a clue that it is a misbranded food, such as dairy ice cream, okay, which made with other fats and emulsifiers without addition of milk. See, most of the dairy means we have to add milk in it. So they need, if the product contain milk, then it is called as dairy. But if you are making dairy cream without milk, then it is called as misbranded. Okay, then he may liable to which penalty? So this is a question. So before answering this question, let me explain this thing. So that we have two options. One is penalty and punishment plus penalty. Punishment plus penalty. So according to the according to the crime, we have to either give the penalty or punishment plus penalty. So let's see if you are selling a food which is not of the nature or substance or quality demanded, okay, then it is called as, it will come under the section 50 and you have to pay 5 lakhs. Okay, that is a penalty. But see, sometimes if the food, most of the like let's say petty food business operator, which means the food business operator whose business is not so big, like the food vendors and all, so they cannot pay this much of amount. So only for them it is 25k. It is 25k. Okay, so next, substandard food. Substandard food means using some ingredients which is not the standards which is given. So for that it is 5 lakhs, same. And misbranded food. So here the answer is 3 lakhs, misbranded food. So next is misleading advertisement. See, telling something in the advertisement is not so good. So for example, if you are telling that this product will cure this much of disease and all, if you eat this product, if you eat the specific product, it will give you this much of let's say energy or power or something. Like you can take a pretty good example of Red Bull. Red Bull gives wings. So this is a tagline. Basically this tagline costs them like 20 million or something, because obviously Red Bulls cannot give wings. This is a misleading advertisement. In India it will cost you 10 lakhs if you mislead an advertisement. Okay, it's 10 lakhs. And if it is an extraneous matter which render the food unsafe, then it is 1 lakh, and same unhygienic also same, kind of same, so 1 lakh only. And if you didn't obey FSO and their orders, it is 2 lakhs. Okay, and see, in case of if you have adulterant and if you are like accused with adulterant, there are two things. One is not injurious, okay, not injurious, and the second one is injurious. If you have an ingredient if you have an adulterant which is not injurious specifically, then it is 2 lakh rupees. If it is injurious, then you have to pay the penalty 10 lakhs. So till now all you have seen is the penalty, and there is one more penalty also. If if suppose some issues happen, some contraventions happen, and it is not mentioned in any of those penalties here, then you have to pay 2 lakh rupees. Okay, for that specific penalty. So each section and its the details of the penalty and the reason for the penalty, and finally their lakhs is very important, and which can be asked in the questions. Okay, so you have to study this deeply. So now let's come to the punishment. So that is an easy way to remember this punishment, which is, first of all, let's discuss this punishment for unsafe food. So let's divide this into no injury. Okay, then non-grievous injury, which means obviously injury happened but nothing serious, then grievous injury, then finally death. So 6-1. So first let's this is the punishment here, and this is the amount of penalty. So penalty. So first of all, for non-grievous injury, it is 6 months and 1 lakh. Okay, then for grievous, you should put the 1 here. It is 1 year. Okay, and half of this, which is 3 lakh. Then same 6 years and 5 lakh, and 7 years and 10 lakh plus. So remember this table. This is very important, the punishment and the penalty. So for the next the punishment for the seized item, so take from the first one. Okay, 6-1, right? So take the first one and put 6 month and 2 lakhs. Okay, so punishment for false information, it is half, which I had told you, like 6 month and 2 lakh rupees. And impersonating a food safety officer, like if you are just taking some fake ID card and telling you are a food safety officer and you have purchased some items in a let's say retail store or something, then you will be punishment with 3 months of jail and 1 lakh rupees. Okay, and if you are running a business without a license, obviously it is 6 months, 5 lakh rupees punishment. And guys, see, this is an important point. If you have made these mistakes again and again, then your punishment will be into 2. Okay, and your penalty will be into 2. So if you are, like, for example, if you are impersonating a food safety officer, then your punishment is 3 months and 1 lakh rupees penalty. But if you are doing that again, then it is 6 months and 2 lakh rupees. So it will multiply again and again if you are doing so. Okay, then compensation. See, obviously if death happens or any other injury happens, not only penalty is there, there is some compensation also. We need to give it to the persons. Okay, so compensation. Okay, so compensation for death. Compensation for death is more than 5 lakhs. Okay, according to the court determined, it will be given more than 5 lakhs. And if it is a grievous injury, we need to give 3 lakh more. I mean more than 3 lakhs. And if it is any other injury other than grievous injury, then it is 1 lakh more. Okay, more than 1 lakh. So these are the basic information. Now let's get into the question. If it is a misbranded food, then we have seen it, it is 3 lakh rupees. Okay, so next question. According to the FSS Act 2006, no insecticide has been used directly on the article of food except fumigants, and registered and approved under which act? So this is an important question. See guys, listen carefully. Please note down this important dates. See, there are many important like act has been mentioned in the FSSI 2006. Okay, FSSS Act 2006 has many acts which is mentioned inside them, so we need to know their dates and years. Okay, so let me start with the basic date, and I'll try to tell you in a simpler way. Okay, so first of all, foreign trade. So Foreign Trade Development and Regulation Act. Development and Regulation Act. So this has been this act came in the year 1992. So this is the very first one. Then 92, then reduce the 92 into 62. 1962 is the Customs Act. Customs Act. Okay, 1962 is the Customs Act, and the same year 1962 we have Atomic Energy Act. Okay, Atomic Energy Act is the same year 1962, but Atomic Energy Rule, okay, Atomic Energy Rule came in the year 1996. Okay, Atomic Energy Rule came in the year 1996. And one more, Atomic Energy Rule 2012. Okay, so what is the difference between this rule and this rule? See, the Atomic Energy Rule, which came in 1996, basically, which is used to give license. But the rule which came in the year 2012, which is basically to control the irradiation. So it gives the radiation limit. How much radiation has to be used? The radiation limit has been given in the year 2012. So Atomic Energy Rule 2012 give us the radiation limit, and the Atomic Energy Rule 1996 basically it gave us the license. Okay, so these are some important dates which you have to remember in the year of 1962, then 1996, then 2012. Okay, so let's get back to this one. 1985. So this year is very important. Okay, so in the year of 1985, we have narcotic, drugs and psychotropic substances. You cannot use this in the food products. So that's why this act is there, okay, which prevent you to use this in the food product. Okay, which just came in the 1985 and just cut down 40 years. Okay, 1945. 1945 is the drugs and cosmetics rules. 1945. See guys, here we have cut down 30 years from Foreign Trade to Customs Act, which is related. Here narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances cut down 40 years. You have drugs and cosmetic rules, but Drugs and Cosmetic Act came in 1940. Okay, so don't confuse this with the act. Act came in 1940, but the rules came in 1945. Okay, so there is one more important year. See, this is 1985, right? In the year 1986, many important important details came. One important part is in the year 1986 we have APIDA. Okay, APIDA came into force on the year 1986. Actually, the APIDA Act came in 1985, but it came into force in the 1986. Okay, 86 it came into force, and BIS came into force. Okay, BIS Act came in 1985. Same, BIS Act came in 1986, but it came into force in 1987, 12th of August. Okay, so this is BIS. And Spice Board. So basically Spice Board also came into force in 1987. Okay, and 2nd of 26th. But this act came in 1986 only. Spice Board Act. Okay, then Consumer Protection Act. Consumer Protection Act. It is also came in 1986. Environmental Protection Act. Environmental Protection Act, which is basically, which will give you the Pollution Control Board and other details, which will come in the Schedule 4. So you will see that in the licensing regulation. So Environmental Protection Act is also 1986, and Environmental Protection Rule is actually 1989. Okay, and if you reduce this 86 into 1980, sorry, in 86 into 1976, you have Standards of Weight and Measurements Act. So increase it by 1977, which is Packed Commodity Rule. Now one more thing. This is 86, right? Reverse the 86. What you will get? You will get 1968. So 1968 is the Pesticide Act. Sorry, so 1968 is the Insecticide Act. Insecticide Act will came in 1968, and insecticide rules came in 1971. So I think you might have learned all the important rules. Okay, so you might be wondering, what about the PFA, like Prevention of Food Adulteration Act and Food Product Order and all that? We will discuss in the next question deeply, but as of now, this details is more than enough, right? And did I miss any topic? Yeah, I have missed Agmark. Agmark is also came in 1986, right? I mean, Agmark is amended in 1986. It came so before, but it amended in 1986. So Agmark is also 1986. So many important details came in 1986, so which is an important year. Okay, so next question. So the answer is 1986 Insecticide Act. Okay, so next question. Orissa state, which is come under which zone? Okay, get represented in the Food Safety Authority. Okay, so zones, we will discuss this in detail. So basically, see, FSSS Act 2006 has two schedules. Okay, they have two schedules. One is the first schedule, and one more is second schedule. Okay, so in the first schedule, we have 5 zones. Zone 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. You can easily remember this zone with this simple keyword. One is in the first zone, we have south of India. Second zone is north. Third is west. Then east. Finally, fifth one is the Union Territory. Okay, and there are 7 states in the first zone, and 6 in the second one, and 7 in the third one, and 8 in the fourth one, and 7 in the fifth one. In the second schedule, you have different acts. Okay, so do you have different acts and orders which is actually been merged with the FSSAI now. So you don't need to refer this act anymore, because FSSAI will try to like, let's say, merge all those acts, and now it has came into force under the FSSAI. Okay, so what are those? First one is Prevention of Food Adulteration. Prevention of Food Adulteration, which is came in 1954. Then Fruit Product Order, which is basically has all the fruits and vegetables in it. It is 1955. The 55. And one more thing which is also came in 1955. What is it? Which is Essential Commodity Act. Essential Commodity Act. Then Food Product Order, which has also came in 1973. Okay. Then next is Vegetable Oil Products Order. Okay, Vegetable Oil Products Order came in the year 1947. Next is edible oil. See, edible oil is different from vegetable oil. So edible oil packaging came in the year 1998. Okay, remember this. And solvent extracted oil. Okay, solvent extracted oil. Okay, and de-oiled meal. So both of these things came in 1967. Okay, and one more important is Milk and Milk Product Order. Milk and Milk Product. So all the Milk and Milk Products Order came in the year 1992. Okay, so these are some important dates which you have to consider. So let's discuss this schedules in detail. See, in the first schedule, you have these 7 important states: Andhra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, Maharashtra, Odisha and Tamil Nadu. In the second zone, you have Haryana, Himachal, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Uttaranchal and Uttar Pradesh. In the zone 3, we have Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and West Bengal. Then in the fourth zone, we have Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim and Tripura. And in the fifth zone, you have Andaman Nicobar Island, Chandigarh, and then Dadra and Nagar Haveli, then Daman Diu, Delhi, Lakshadweep, Pondicherry. So based on this, you might have learned the Orissa will come in the first zone. Okay, so basically that is the answer for the question. So next question. See, in the FSSS Act, okay, in the FSSS Act 2007, you might in the section 3, you might have seen many definitions. Okay, so it is important to study all those definitions because they will definitely ask a question from the definition. Okay, in this question, they have mentioned that interactive exchange of information and opinions throughout the risk analysis process concerning risk and risk related factors and perception among the risk assessor, risk manager and consumer. So what is this basically? So they have given a definition and they ask what is the topic of the definition, and we have 4 options: assessment, management, analysis and communication. So based on this data, we have to analyze it. What is the basic definition? Okay, so let me explain this in a simpler manner. See, in case of, first of all, let's start with a simple one: risk. See, you can easily remember the definition of risk with a simple word: probability of an adverse effect on health. See, if there is a probability that certain things will cause adverse effect on health, then that is called as risk. Okay, then if you have risk, what you have to do is you have to analyze the risk. So risk analysis. So how you will analyze a risk? Based on risk assessment. First of all, you need a risk assessment to analyze a risk. So under risk assessment, to assess a risk, we need certain factors to assess that whether it is harmful or not, right? So how do we analyze a risk? So based on 4 factors. First is hazard identification. Hazard identification and hazard characterization. Hazard characterization. And the third one is exposure assessment. Okay, and the fourth one is risk characterization. So based on this, we can easily assess the risk. Now after you have assessed the risk, what you have to do? You have to make the risk management. So risk management is nothing but it is basically policy alternatives. See, if you have certain policy which leads to this risk, you have to change the policy. For example, if suppose we are allowing certain products which is not good for our health, let's say melamine. If suppose in the previous regulation we are allowing the melamine, now we have a restriction for this melamine. Okay, so that is policy alternatives. And also fair trade practices. Fair trade practices. For example, see, obviously we cannot allow this melamine in the food, right? But if it is in a very low amount, actually if it is a noel cost amount, then we can basically allow the specific amount to be in it, because obviously removing that entirely is difficult. So that is called as a fair trade practice. Okay, and the third one is prevention control. So to stop the risk, we need to make a prevention control. So by putting regulation and all those things. So prevention control is the third one. So these are some important risk management things. So once you have managed the risk, next is finally you have to communicate with everybody. So risk communication. So communication is basically exchanging of information, right? Communication means you are exchanging of informations, okay, and opinions. Okay, so this will benefit the people and food business operator and the entire state and country. So basically for this question, because we are exchanging the information, see, here exchange of information and opinions is came, so it's basically communication. Okay, so that is the way you have to answer the question. So next question. So according to Food Safety and Standard Act, food safety officer should retain how many parts of sample with him? So before answering this question, let me simply explain you like what is happening in this question. See, if you are an FSO, food safety officer, you have to search a lot. Okay, once you have searched a lot, you will collect few samples. Okay, collection of sample, okay, from different lot. Okay, so you have searched all the lot and you have collect different samples. Now what you will do is, you will combine all those collected samples and make a bulk sample. Okay, so once you have made a bulk sample, there is two ways you have to divide it. And this is very important, guys, listen. One is microbial analysis and non-microbial analysis. See, suppose if you are getting the sample just to check that whether it is adulterated or not, then you will go for the non-microbial analysis. Suppose if you are checking for microbial quality, then you have to follow the first method. So let me explain this both of the method in detail. First of all, if it is for non-microbial analysis, you have to divide the bulk sample into 4 samples. Okay, how you will divide it? By using a sample divider. So you will be divide the sample into first sample and second sample, third sample and fourth sample. So the first sample will be given to the state food laboratory. Under that, food analyst will be working. So food analyst will be there under the state food lab. So you have given the first sample to the food analyst, and you have given 2 more samples, second and third sample, to the DO, designated officer. So he will keep the sample. Suppose if the food analyst couldn't able to, let's say, use the specific sample properly, then he can ask one more sample. He can request one more sample from the DO. Okay, so the DO will give one more second sample to him. Like basically this is how it will works. Okay, then one sample is left, right? So the fourth sample is basically kept, okay, for the extra purpose. Suppose it will be given to FSSI notified laboratory. Okay, only if an food business operator requests, that sample will be sent to the notified lab. Otherwise, that fourth sample will also be given to the DO. So basically all the 4 samples has been like separated. So now you can see the FSO has no sample with him. So the FSO has 0 sample with him. All the samples has been given to food analyst, DO and to the notified laboratory. Okay, let's come to the microbial analysis. In the microbial analysis, you cannot divide it in 4, you will divide it into 3, 1, 2 and 3. So these 3 samples will be given to the 3 different notified laboratory. FSSI notified laboratory 1, laboratory 2 and laboratory 3. So they 3 will simultaneously check the sample and give the result. Okay, so this is the brief introduction about how the FSO will collect the sample and divide it into different samples. Okay, now let's see the whole I have showed you a tablet, I have showed you some flow chart. Now this flow chart is based on the point of view of food safety officer. Now let's change the point of view from food safety officer to a food business operator. See, if you are a food business operator, this is your point of view. Food safety officer will come and take a sample from you. Okay, Then he will take the sign from you and the thumb impression. Okay, then he will divide the samples into 4 parts. Okay, as we have demand, one sample will be given to notified laboratory only if you demand it. Then rest is given to the DO and food state food laboratory by to the food analyst. Then the food analyst will give the report of 4 copy to the DO specifically, and that report will be given to food business operator. Okay, and finally 2 of the reports will be given to food safety officer if suppose we are going for some education and all. Okay, so basically if you are not accepting this specific the detail, then you have to appeal. Okay, you have to appeal to the tribunal special court. So this is the point of view of a food business operator. Then let's see a point of view of a food analyst. This is the point of view of food analyst. See, as you can see, food safety officer has given you a sample parcel with memo, and once you have received the sample, you will make a documentation, and whether you will check that whether it will fit for analysis or not. If it is fit for analysis, we will do all these checks. Okay, so we'll check all these things, but if it is not fitting for the analysis, then it will be sent back to the unfit. It will send back to the DO and tell them that this is unfit. So within 7 days, you have to tell this whether it is unfit or fit. Okay, then the food business officer, then the DO or food safety officer will give one more sample to the food analyst to checking this process. Okay, then once you have checked the analysis, now you have to give the report in 14 days. Then that report will be given to the DO and FSO, and all those process will begin. So this is the point of view of a food analyst. Okay, so this is the point of view of a food business operator, and this is the point of view of an FSO. Okay, so now let's come back to the question. So the FSO should retain 0 parts within. So next question, report of food analyst will be given to DAS in DAS form in DO. So basically you need to study some forms. So let's discuss a form. So basically there are 10 forms basically. Okay, so you need to know which form is for what. First form is for affidavit, second form is for seizure, and third form is for order of seizure, and fourth form is a surety bond, that whether you will be giving him or not, and the fifth form is a form to a food business operator. Suppose if you are a food safety officer and you want to let's say take a sample, and if you want to search the premises and all, you have to give the form 5. Okay, and form 6 is see, if you are not a food safety officer, if you are just a normal consumer, okay, if you are just a normal consumer, and if you didn't like a chocolate, or let's say if you didn't agree with certain parameters in the label, if you felt that this has done a mistake, like the food business operator has done a mistake, and you want to check yourself, then you have to give the form form 5B, and basically this will be submitted to the food analyst, and they will check and give the results, and you have to pay the amount to do this. Okay, so but if it came that if it is adulterated, or if the product is bad or something, then whatever the amount you have paid for the analysis will be returned back to you. Okay, now the FSO submit to the food analyst will be given in the form 6, and the report will be given in the form 7, and form 8 is for the appealing. Okay, so in case if you didn't agree with the form 7, you will be appealing with the form 8. Then form 9 is for the nomination. For example, if you are a company or something, then obviously you cannot you cannot say everyone has done a mistake. So whoever is responsible more, that person will be nominated by the company in the form 9, and form 10 is the form of appeal. To the this appeal will be happen before the Food Safety Appellate Tribunal. Okay, these are the 10 important forms, but in the FSSS rules 2011, there are 2 more forms. The first form is the form of oath taken by the chairperson and the other members, and the second form is a form of oath taken for the secrecy of the chairperson and the other members. Okay, so these are the 2 important other forms which is mentioned in the FSSS rules 2011. Okay, So from this question we can see the report of food analyst will be given in the form 7A. Okay, so this is the final question. Food safety display board. Okay, see, food safety display board means it is actually a mandatory display board, okay, which will be which has to be pasted in each and every retail stores and every food premises. So now they have given for retail store what is the color of the display board. Okay, so let's answer this question. So basically this is a really easy question, so you might have studied this question. So food safety display board, FSDB. So this food safety display board, first of all, it is mandatory, which means all the food premises has to be pasted this food safety display board, which is a requirement now. Okay, now let's divide this food safety display board into two sizes. One is A3 size and A4 size. Okay, see, if you are just a industry with only license, okay, state or central license, then you have to paste this A3 form, okay, license. If you only done registration, then you don't need to paste the A3 size. A4 size is enough. So for registered members, A4 size. For state and central license member, it is A3 size. And there are two set of rules, 10 rules and 12 rules. So 10 rules is for the person who are doing transport of food, storage of food, okay, and retail store, and milk, if you are a milk vendor, or meat vendor, or fruits and vegetable vendor, then that is 10 rules. Basically this is basically transport and storage of foods, that's it. 12 rules is for the manufacturing people, okay, manufacturing people, liquor store, okay, street food and restaurant. Okay, so the 12 rules will be mentioned in manufacturing places, liquor stores, street food and restaurant. Basically all the important manufacturing places they have kept, plus the liquor store. So these are the two important rules, and these are the two important sizes. See, this each and every transport store, each and every industry has different color to mention also. So let's see that. First of all, restaurant has purple color, fruits and vegetables has green color, meat is red color. All these things are like basically what to say, like it is easily you can remember it, right? So same, purple is for street food also. For milk it is blue, retail store it is gray, and then see, retail it is gray, liquor it is brown, transport it is navy blue, storage it is yellow, manufacturing it is turquoise. And see, why we need this food safety display board? First of all, because of three important elements. First is, it will display the license number of FBO. So if you are a customer, you can easily verify this with the website. And the second one is food safety and hygienic requirements. Okay, so suppose if you are entering a meat shop, obviously you have to follow the hygienic principles. So with the specific food safety display board, 10 rules and 12 rules will be mentioned. Basically for here it is 10 rules, right? So these rules will be mentioned. So this will ensure a 360-degree assurance of food safety. You can check with yourself whether they are following these rules or not. And third one is, this specific food safety display board also have a platform which you can send SMS or WhatsApp to FSSI, so that if any issues is there, suppose for example if they are not following a certain hygienic principle or something, you can complain in this app and they will look into it. So these are some of the important details about the food safety display board and why it is mandatory in the industry. Okay, now almost we came into the end of the session. In the first session we have just discussed the first part, which is the FSSS Act. In the next section we'll discuss about the regulation. Also we have told you about the chapter 2 and chapter 7. We will try to discuss those chapters too, so that those chapters is also important. So we have just discussed this part, and this and this and this will be discussed in the further following classes. Okay, so we will only discuss the MCQs for only the chapter 2 and chapter 7. We will try to explain a few of the topics. basically we will try to give you some idea about the MCQs. So I hope this will be benefit to you, and we will give you one more extra question as a bonus question. So let's check this question. Okay, so this is a bonus question. See, to appeal against a special court to High Court, you should be done within the time limit of how much? Okay, so basically it is an important question. So let me answer this question. See, if you want to appeal against and to who and the time period, 1 second. Okay, so if you are a food business operator and if you want to appeal against tribunal court, food safety tribunal court to High Court, then you have to do within 60 days. Okay, you have to do within 60 days. And if you want to appeal against special court to High Court, do it within 45 days. Okay, and if you want to appeal against improvement notice to whom? To commissioner or DO. Okay, do it within 15 days. Okay, and if you want to appeal against food analyst, okay, food analyst report to DO, do it within 30 days. Okay, same you can also appeal against FSO to DO. There is no specific date mentioned. If they are not behaving well, you can easily appeal this. And if you want to appeal against educating officer, okay, to tribunal, do it within 30 days. Extra 30 days will be provided if you gave a specific reason for that. Okay, so these are some of the important appeal and to who we have to appeal and what is the time period to appeal. Okay, I hope all these things. Okay, the answer is 45 days because from special court to High Court, as we can see, it is 45 days. Okay, yeah. So thank you for the session. Please do subscribe and like the video, and we will only share the link for the chapter 2 and chapter 7 explanation videos will coming soon. So that those will be given only to the members who are subscribed to the channel and also who are following the Telegram channel. So do follow the Telegram channel to see the more videos like this. And thank you and stay tuned for the next video. Bye guys.